in our society. What's held up as the masculine, emotionless person, that's toxic. So yeah, we live in a world where men are conditioned not to show an emotion, right? So it is okay when you're outside and you're dealing with the world. You're not supposed to walk around in tears. You're not supposed to walk around crying and everything, right? So it's a survival mechanism in this toxic world. And I don't know how men do this, because I feel sorry for men who have this pressure, because they have feelings like everybody else, but they're pressured to hold them all in. So when you come home and you get with your comfort person, it makes sense that that would be the person that you unleash all of your issues on, right? So just recognize and know that that's just what happens, right? But I think that when you get home and you recognize those things, you can actually look to your partner to be able to absorb some of that, because that's what's important in relationships. We can absorb, okay, I know it's been hard on you, and to absorb some of that and to help build an atmosphere where a partner, male or female, can come home and can share what's going on with them, can cry on their shoulder, can release those things. And it is true, you do need to be in a place where you can receive all of this emotional experiences that men do face. In relationships, yeah, particularly men need that place, but men have also got to be trained and conditioned to also receive. When someone's hurting, they also need to receive. Men want to be vulnerable. They have the need to be vulnerable to human beings like anybody else, but they also need a place to receive it. But they also need to set up an arrangement with their significant other so that they can be a comfort person in return. I think the biggest challenge for me, as with probably a lot of other therapists, being up against the internet. And let me say 90% of advice that you see online on social media, when it comes to mental health, when it comes to relationships, 90% of that stuff is wrong, absolutely wrong. And that's the big challenge that you're up against. There are well-intended, beautiful people on the internet spewing things about relationships, human behavior, mental health, and it is 100% incorrect. And it's just something that's just there. And I don't know, how to break through that noise, but myself and other therapists, we get together and we're just like, do you see this? Can you believe this? That's a challenge in and of itself. It's just bad advice. Being online and making generalizations about people and plucking out one word, narcissistic, and just using that for everything. What else is being used? Gaslighting. Words like that. As a licensed therapist, those words are clinical terms. And it's a lot of epidemiology behind it. There's a lot of studies that have been done to create this sort of syndrome in individuals, and you really have to be skilled not only in reading a list of symptoms, but you have to understand what those symptoms look like in its clinical presence and how it presents itself. And if you haven't had that background and that training, it's really difficult. It's really difficult to totally understand what it really looks like. And I do think that some of those terms are used to weaponize other people. And so that's the part that is a big challenge, I feel like part of my job is to educate the public on what is healthy, what is not healthy. But we are no way in a position to diagnose anybody, to treat anybody, to cure people. You can't do that online and with social media. You have to do it with a clinical assessment and with an individual that can sit down and talk to you with your personal issues that's unique to you. I would love to be able to help all of my clients accept themselves. I know it sounds really cliche, but for real, accept themselves and all of their experiences and being okay with that. Eliminating the shame, eliminating the self-hatred, eliminating all of the worry that stops you from being who and what you need to be. I want to say, what's getting in your way? And they talk about a whole list of worries that they think could happen. Yes, those things can happen. It is possible, but go for it anyways. My success as a therapist is for everybody to be courageous in their pursuit you know what you want to do. You know your purpose in life. It's not that people don't want to do it. They don't know what it is. But I wish people would be a little more courageous in how they love each other, how they love themselves, how they accept each other and themselves, for sure. That's really lofty, but I really do feel that way.